Good evening and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. I want to give a warm welcome to all of you that are listening to me. Um, of course, I broadcast normally from Surf City, USA, south of Los Angeles, but I'm actually in downtown Los Angeles at the LA Convention Center. They just finished wrapping up the car show, and my podcast starts at 7 o'clock, and I can't deviate the times anymore like I used to. So I'm doing my live stream with the backdrop of the Honda exhibit here at the car show, and they're going to be taking down the cars and removing things in the background, but hopefully it won't be too disruptive to my live stream. But I'm dedicated, as you can see. I've been doing the auto show for over 50 years. It seems like I do a lot of things in 50s. It's part of our Long Beach Grand Prix that I'm part of that I've been doing for over 50 years. And so, anyway, hi, Lisa. Good evening. And hopefully you hear me okay, not too much of background in the sounds. I'm disabling the car show here in LA. It's a great car show that's been going on for over a week and a half. But anyway, I'm doing my live stream from here in downtown LA at the LA car show. And I want to welcome all of you. There are people moving forklifts and rolling up carpet and moving cars out and stuff like that. Good. I'm glad you can hear me okay, and hopefully the background sounds isn't there. I won't be able to take any calls because I'm using my phone as a hotspot. So we can only basically text here tonight, but that's okay. That's okay. And hello, Andrea. Good to see you again. I know you're from Illinois, Chicago, a little town outside of Chicago, Illinois. And welcome, Andrea. And again, welcome, Lisa from Montana. Now, as I talk here, I have a couple of housekeeping things I like to talk about. One, if you want to text a message to me about the child protection system, that's what we're here for. It can be a form of a question or a comment, and please state your name and where you're located. And if you're outside the United States, put your country. People in the United States don't need to put your country. And that's basically it. That's one way of interacting with this live stream. Also, you can also be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, all you have to do is pick one of my 14 live stream shows. Now, I'm on twice a day. I've been doing this since October of 2023. That's over 25 months now. This marks the next Monday will be the 26th month. So every day, twice a day, every week, that's 14 live streams, and every month and every year. I've been doing this continuously. Now, my show times are 10 a.m. in the morning, Monday through Friday, and on the weekend, 8 a.m. Then every night of the week, there's 7 p.m., 7 p.m., 7 p.m. Now, you're probably seeing my shirt. That's a little bit different. I normally wear a black or dark shirt, but I want to look best for you guys. And so I have a jacket that goes with this, but it's too much. There's too many things on the jacket. I think it's too distracting. So this is my package tonight. I think it looks very professional. I just want to be professionally dressed, and I got a tie on, so I should look good there. Anyway, to be a guest, you just pick one of those 14 live stream shows. You just send me an email to my email, which is bobp@vincentwdavis.com, and you just say I want to be on Bob's Monday night show, or Bob's Sunday night show, or Bob's Friday morning show, or Bob's Wednesday morning show. That's all you have to do, and put your email. Now, when I get the email, make sure to include your phone number, your name, and your email. And then I'll forward it on to my show producer, who will send you a link to get you onto the application we use. Is called StreamYard. StreamYard is the application I use. And so I really want to hear from you regarding this. I really do. And I'd love for you to be on my live stream.
Attention all calls. Attention all calls.
We got some
Your vehicles may begin to depart their assigned freight doors.
There are now
they're
now exhibiting the video there.
If you are moving,
so thank you, Lisa. I look good. Okay, that's good to hear.
Have your blinkers on so we can identify your vehicles.
And I'll wait for the announcement goes on.
You vehicles may begin to depart their assigned freight doors. All halls. If you are moving into building parking, please have blinkers on to identify your vehicle.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, so that's in the announcement. Hopefully it's not too noisy with these vehicles. It's a big auto show, and this beats me than trying to race home on the train. I took a train to come up to LA, and my car isn't doing that good. So I used a train to come here. It's actually a electric train that goes on the tracks. It's a Metro Link, I think it's called, or something like that. But anyway, I'm here to answer your questions and your concerns and help you with your matter with CPS. Now, something about me, I am a dinosaur. Yeah, I'm very old, but I have a lot of knowledge. I'm very smart and intelligent, and I think I'm a lot younger than my age shows me. And I have a lot of knowledge. Now, I have 43 years of marriage experience that I can share with you. I've helped raise 6 children. They're all doing quite well, as best as expected. They all have jobs. They all have families. They're all working, and all of 5 of them are married, except one is still young. He's my youngest. He's 20 years old. My oldest is 44. So I have 3 boys and 3 girls. So I'm proud of them. And so that's part of my background. Also, I've been working for 61 years. It's a long time working, and I really like to work. Unfortunately, CPS interrupted my life. It's been really a disaster. I started dealing with them in 2010, and I've been fighting them for 15 years. And on top of that, I have been also dealing with losing my home, my forever home, because I had to have money to hire an attorney. That's one of my first rules, is to hire an attorney to get my family back together. The CPS is corrupt. Now, what I mean by that is half of the entities out there are corrupt, and I call them rogue. Now, every state has counties, and every county will have a CPS, a child protection system, with many different names. Like where I'm living, LA County, it's the Department of Children and Family Services. In Orange County, it's called the Child Protection Services. In Prescott, Arizona, the home of the Pink Ladies, who are these social workers that wore pink T-shirts with the name on front, with the names on front, professional child kidnappers, and on the back they said, "Parents, you know where your children are at." And so, with that being said, they call their child protection system the Department of Children's Services. So the Department of Children's Services in Prescott. By the way, those ladies were fired when they went out in public. There was 8 of them and the director in Prescott. Prescott is known for small Indian tribes there. There's several reservations there. And when I mention about Indians, I don't want to forget you guys, there's something called the Indian Child Welfare Act, ICWA. And that was developed in 1978 to help out the American Indians, because for 100 years, their children would be rounded up, hair cut, lifestyles forgotten, who they were, cultures suppressed, food changed. Anyway, they were trying to force them to assimilate. Well, in 1978, they were able to get a law passed that said the reservations take care of their own. All you have to do is be an Indian, and usually most Indians tribe require to be 25% of Indian blood and be a registered of that tribe, wherever the tribe is. And you know, whether you're Lakota Sioux or a Crow or any of the other Indian tribes around, you can have your children turned to an Indian family, and have them raised. I can explain to more about that. A lot of you have questioned me about that, but it takes away the cruelty that child protection system has done to the American Indians. They've been so suppressed. You know, they're the first immigrants that found this country. They were here first. And I'm talking 10,000 or years or more. And they came away of the land bridge from Asia over to Alaska. That's how they were settled. The Vikings came later, but they didn't come into the 700 AD. So we had no immigrants here. And then, of course, in the 600, we had the European explorers with the Pilgrims for the first ones to come. But we also had some explorers at the turn of the century in the 600s. So Europeans were the third immigrants. The Vikings never maintained a home here. They did as far as Greenland and Iceland, but never in North America. They tried, but the Vikings, the Indians definitely didn't get along because they're very warlike. But anyway, enough of history. Let's get back to CPS. And I hope all of you guys are telling me a question or two. Now, when you send in the email and I get my show producer to send you a link, then copy and paste it. The rules are simple. We have no rudeness or disrespectful to anybody in the room. That's very important. No profanity. We do not eat or smoke on the show, and we do not use the names of children, judges, or social workers. And so I'm standing, by the way, at a desk that's standing up here. It's one of the booths here. So if I lean over, I got to get myself adjusted so I give a good presentation. The lighting looks good. The lighting behind me looks good. So it looks like we're doing okay here with the lighting. And sounds like everybody's hearing me okay and see me okay. That is good. But I really appreciate if one of you would ask me some questions or some help. Andrea or Lisa, I know you have in the past, and that sounds good. And so we have emoji. We have a thumbs up. I wonder who that is. That is from Chris Farrow. Thank you, Chris, for the thumbs up. There's emoji you guys can leave for me, and that is great. That is great. Now, I'm about 11 minutes into the show. I go to 8 o'clock, and so I'm going to take that down and leave I can't put my phone number up because I'm using the phone as a hotspot. You can't do a phone call and a hotspot on the same thing. So I'm going to be bouncing back between these. I'm going to hide that for a moment and tell you about the other number there. The other number, 888-888-6582, is the law office of Vincent W. Davis. He's the guy you could talk to for legal advice. Now, I certainly have experience because I've talked to over 3,050 people so far in 26 countries. Some of the countries have been Indonesia, then Bangladesh, then India. Then we go up to the Middle East, and I have Saudi Arabia and Iraq, and then Libya. And then we go to the continent of Africa. And then I have Liberia. I have Sudan, and then Republic of Congo, and then we go to Rwanda, and then Mozambique, and then the country of South Africa with its provinces. Then up to Europe, we have the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and then we have Germany, Denmark, and Sweden. Then across the pond, we have North America, Canada, and its provinces. Then we go south. We have the United States, and all 50 states I've heard from. And I've even heard from Washington, D.C., which is not a state. Then we go south of the border to Mexico, and then on to Central America to Belize. And then to South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast, we've had Grenada. And then I go across the South Pacific, and I have New Zealand, and then the land down under Australia. And so it's quite a versatility of people, but one thing they all have in common, they ran into a rogue CPS entity, really bad, that took them down, and it was really hard on me too, because my children were stolen. They weren't legally taken, and stupidity was my problem. There are 5 rules I've developed. And those rules, rule 1 is get an attorney. I mean a real attorney. I tried to fight them with a public attorney thinking that they would represent you fairly. They don't. They don't even break away. They're there. They are so much taxed by CPS. They have lots of people that are defending, 30 to 50 some people. That's too many people to put attention to your case, and they won't defend you. They won't defend you. And then they will end up losing your case. And it's sad because children are involved. That's the sad part about it. Now, the child protection system was a government entity that was created by Congress in '62 that directed social services to round up social workers that protect our children from neglect and abuse. And that's important. We had protection of our animals long before we had protection of our children. The Society for the Prevention of the Cruelty of Animals has been around a lot longer than the child protection system. And they're more concerned about our animals than they were about our children. And it started off good. In '62, they formed it, but then it wasn't until '74 they had any laws that could be enforceable. And it's a government entity, but it's like open heart surgery when you try to fight them. You need a professional doctor. That's why you need a professional attorney. And the reason why I had that number, 888-888-6582, because I'm offering you Vincent Davis to hire. Now, he's for hire. He works out of LA County in the city called Arcadia, but he'll go to any state, and his fee will vary. Now, what I mean by that is that it's expensive for a lawyer. Now, his retainer for LA County is $5,000 he starts off with, and his rate is $500 an hour. That retainer's got to replenish it when it drops down. And so all attorneys work that way. But he's reasonable. A lot of attorneys are $1,000 an hour, or a lot of them have a higher retainer. So he is reasonable. Plus, he has 40 years of fighting CPS. He's gotten back thousands of children. He's also a trial attorney. He can do criminal trials. And he can certainly fight a criminal matter that requires a jury. He knows how to do. That's what a attorney he gets. Now in CPS they don't do jury trials. They should, but they don't. It's all decided by one man, a judge, who acts as a referee, and that is hard. That is hard. And so I'm hoping on my time here, they're taking things down pretty quick. It's kind of amazing to be here when they're taking things down. They got 100 cars or maybe a couple hundred cars here. They got to move out and pack up and everything there. So that number there, when you call, make sure you tell the people, the reception, the 888-888-6582, that you that Bob Pace sent you. That's really important. Now, I have some questions from Andrea from Illinois, and I have some questions from Lisa from Montana. Andrea says, what are your thoughts on immunity for CPS workers? For example, they're legally allowed to go all the way with lying and so forth. Well, you can catch them in lies, but you can't sue them till after your case is over. And they don't really have immunity. They can be sued for millions of dollars. I had a social worker, Andrea, who wasn't even a high school education worker, that on the stand committed perjury. She lied, and she lied really bad, but she retaliated on her family. She took revenge and coached our daughter to divorce mom and dad, to change her name completely, to get a second social security card, to get a new birth certificate, and to be adopted by a family. She was encouraged not only by the social worker, but also the CASA rep, who are supposed to be for the group, but they're not. They're ears for CPS. Don't trust CASA. And also the judge. The judge was in cahoots too. There's several pictures and a video with the judge and with everybody on there that that talks about it. So I have a video where a CASA worker was using my daughter as a PR for her and saying how important it is and so forth. They don't advocate for families or parents. That's the downside. That's the downside. CPS is not for the parents. My kids were illegally taken, and they didn't have to be. They didn't have to be taken, and they weren't in danger. The reason why they take a child is because they're in danger. But having the kids in school, one was in a private school, they're not in danger. Having their own bedroom, they're not in danger. There was no endangerment. And I was not accused of any physical abuse to my children. I was accused of negligence. And what it was is that my in-laws were one of the reporters. My wife's father, mother, and three sisters and brother were saying all kinds of things that were not true. And it was sad. It was really, really, really sad. And so I wanted to tell you that it really is sad what CPS is like. That's why you need to do there. So immunity, no, they're not exempt from immunity. At first they can lie, but eventually you catch them. Eventually you catch them. You document everything. Now Lisa says, I might be able to hire Vincent for the CPS intensive offer. Well, that'd be good. That'd be good. I'm glad about it. I've been thinking about Leica lately, and I hope to hear from her soon. Yes, for everybody that doesn't know Leica, Leica is from Hartzenberg, is from South Africa. She's a 40-year-old woman, and she lost her son to a pedophile. And she's been trying to fight to get him back, but they don't seem to recognize in South Africa pedophiles. They seem to cater the pedophile than her safety of her son. And anyway, Lisa further says, I'm my son today at church again. Oh, great, great, great. She had her son for Thanksgiving. That was giving me smooches on my cheek. I'm so glad for you, Lisa. You know, if you could hear yourself a month ago, it was so sad. You weren't able to see or talk to your son. And now you've gone to church with him. You had Thanksgiving with him. That is great, Lisa. Welcome. Welcome and well done to that. Welcome. I'm so glad that you did. So those are great questions, Lisa and Andrea, and thank you for asking them. And all your listeners out there, I got a lot of you there. It's really simple to text a message. All you do is make a question or comment about CPS, and I just need your first name, your name only, and then your location. And if you're in the United States, don't worry about the country because you're all in USA. But if you're outside the United States, please list the country because I don't know all the cities in the world. There are a lot of cities out there. And just like I don't know all the cities in the United States, that's why I need your state. That's why I need your state. And because I'd love to hear a question or something I can answer on you. I briefly talked about the ICWA of 1978 that protects Indian children. And if you have more questions about that, but you know, the Indian children have been really abused over the year in foster care, and they were not sent back to their families. They grew up with never knowing their mom and dad. It's so sad how they tried to assimilate the proud people of the Native American Indian into our culture in the United States. Yes, we're all Americans. There's no question about that. But still, your culture is important to you. All you guys are immigrants, even the American Indian. They're just the first immigrants. They're the first immigrants. So it's important that we are all people. We're human beings on this world. And we grow up and we're not given manuals about how to do with life. That's why life skills come in. And one of the life skills I've been talking about is getting legal insurance. There's insurance that we can get all the time that is called life insurance, or there's also car insurance. There's car repair insurance for car parts that repair, that break down. There's homeowners insurance, earthquake, flood, or whatever it is there. There's home appliance insurance. There's pet insurance. There's also legal insurance. You need to look it up. It's a lot more affordable than trying to pay a retainer, you know, or if your son or daughter gets involved in a DUI as a teenager. So it's very important you pay a premium for legal insurance. The premium are affordable. They're not astronomical. And yes, it's another premium you have to have. I mean, you know, you have pet insurance, and then homeowner insurance, home appliance insurance, car repair insurance, life insurance. I mean, you might have 7 or 8 premiums, and that is a lot of money. That's a couple $1,000. And on everybody's budget, that's hard, especially at fixed incomes. Now, I got some more questions here from Lisa. Yes, the glory goes to God. You know, that's one thing is help me, is praying to God. I pray all the time. I think it's important that we try to follow what's in the Bible and try to follow God and Jesus Christ and try to go to church once a week. Church is a good time to be among people that believe in the same thing you believe in. Also, the pastor, my pastor, always has good words. Today, he talked about what Christmas, the Advent, what the Advent calendar. Actually, today is the Happy New Year. It's not actually January 1st. December 1st is the start of Advent. It's a countdown to the birth of Jesus Christ, who, you know, God created inside Mary. Jesus Christ God wanted to be down there on earth, be among the people, but he thought being in the form of Jesus would be better. So God and Jesus are the same if you don't get to realize it or not. They're the same. They're the same, but he's a creator. He creates everything. He's created everything. And several religions have that in common. Several of the religions have that in common, where they have done that. You did talk about Advent today. Yeah, so did my church too. And I learned about it. I just not really know about that. That's good, Lisa. That's really, really, really good. And so far, we're about 30 minutes into the show. I have about a half an hour left, and I'll be ending my live stream. This is definitely an interesting live stream because I'm transmitting with a backdrop of the LA Auto Show. And I do this thing once a year, and I've been doing it now for 50 years, called the Long Beach Grand Prix. I'm an area supervisor. I have 100,000 people that I have to supervise, and I have people underneath me that help me. I don't do it all by myself. But I have all parts of the race crew and so forth that take care of it, stuff like that. And so I really enjoy doing that, and I've been doing it since they started the race in Long Beach. I started in my 20s, and now I'm in my 70s. I started in my 70s, so everything is about like that. So anyway, I find this is interesting. Yes, he is the Trinity. You're right. You're right, Lisa. He is the Trinity. He is God, Jesus, and the Spirit. You're right. The Holy Ghost. Yeah, we have religion in here. It's a good thing because you need religion to fight CPS. I have a gentleman named Michael that comes in here, and he was talking about his son being denied. He's in Tennessee. He's the same place as Aaron in Tennessee. And his child was being denied going to church once a week. CPS is supposed to give you things like that once a week. They're supposed to give you that once a week. And so, you know, it's really important because when you're involved in CPS, there'll be a lot of things that you're going to go through that you're not going to like, and especially if you don't have a court-appointed attorney. Now, as I said, that's my rule number 1, and Vincent is the man that will represent you. And, you know, when you call into that office, the number 888-888-6582, I need to show that number again because I have it blocked right now. But anyway, 888-888-6582 is the law offices. You already told reception that I sent you, but also tell Mr. Davis that I sent you when you talk to him. He'll talk to you. He'll represent you. You just need to talk out the fees and so forth. And if you can't afford the real attorney, you can shop around and try to get 3 quotes. But the court-appointed attorney is not going to win your case. So if you have a court-appointed attorney, it's best to follow these four things. One, if you're not guilty, then tell the public defender you're not guilty, and make sure he knows that and he can tell that to the court. Two, you want to tell the attorney that you'll follow whatever the judge tells you to do, that you're willing to work with the judge and follow them where the judge is. So if the case appointed attorney knows that, he'll inform the judge. Three is that you're going to have to go along with social services, whatever they direct you to do and everything. I'm live right now at the moment.
They're gonna take the steps quick.
Not now, but in 20 minutes. When? Oh,
That gentleman.
okay. All right. Okay. I may have to remove my desk and I may have to go to the floor. That's okay. I have enough power, so I should be okay to make it through my show here. It's 7:30, so we got it there. Anyway, lost my train of thought. I'll get back here again. I'm trying to answer questions and concerns. Yes, it's a personal relation with Jesus Christ. I agree with you, Lisa. Now, when you working with a court-appointed attorney, the fourth thing you should do is that you should try to do as much visitation. You tell them you want unlimited visitation as much as you can, whether it's supervised or not supervised, whether it's on Zoom or not Zoom. It's so important to see your children as much as you can. They're going to try to deny it to you. They're really going to try to, but you got to request that. That's with the court. Now, if you have the real attorney, he'll fight you on issues. He'll get you a fair share. But you got to find the right attorney. A lot of you don't locate the right attorney. You waste money, $70,000, $100,000, whatever, and you waste money on the wrong attorney. You got to make sure that attorney is educated, trained in the area of juvenile law, family law, and dependency law. It's a bonus if they're a trial attorney, they can do criminal matters. Criminal matters is a good thing too. And of course, it's an added bonus that they can do civil lawsuits, so they can fight civil lawsuits. So that is something that is a bonus when you look for attorneys. Now make sure you ask them two important questions. Question one is, are they a juvenile family law dependency law attorney, and have they fought and won CPS? If the answer is yes, then that's a good sign. But the second question is, you should ask them, have they ever done a lawsuit after the case is over and won money back from CPS? If the answer is yes, they got two things going good for them. They got two things going for them. And that should be good too. That should be good too. So those are the two questions you ask to get an attorney. Make sure you get 3 quotes. When you got the answers yes, that's the first start. Then you got to interview them. You got to see if the chemistry is good between you and the attorney. If you don't have the chemistry is good, then it's going to be no go for the attorney. Now, you can look them up on the internet. That's my rule number 4 of how to look them up. But anyway, my rule about attorneys is that you really should, it's the key to it. Now, I want to move on to rule number 2. Rule number 2 is documentation. Document everything. Document everything. What you want to do is that you want to keep track of everything and keep it organized. So that's why you need a notebook, and you need a tabs to organize all the material in the notebook. And it's a giant notebook, about 6 inches thick. And so that's why you really want to have this notebook with you at all times. And other things you can put in the notebook are the court papers. and the social services papers and your test results, your drug results, all your certificate completions of taking your classes, and all the program certificates, all those things you want too. So those are all important there too. There's no question about that. And so that's all important in your number 2 there. Some important documents that you have to create, and one is called a timeline log, incident form, the timeline log. It's just a simple notebook paper, and you divide it up. You use 3 lines per each incident. An incident can be with the police, the social workers, another parent, the children, whatever, at the school, wherever it is. And the first line is usually the date and time it starts off with, either the phone number or the location of the incident. And then after that, on the first line, you put the people involved. The second line is a summary of what the incident's all about. You put what the incident is all about. And that, with the incident is all about, you go ahead and you put the third line is a summary of the outcome. If you don't know the outcome, you leave it blank and fill it in later. But you repeat this for every incident. You may have in 6 months 100 incidents, but it's the only way you're going to keep track of everything and remember it. Now, another important document is called a journal. That's where you write to your kids about what you're going through. You start off with day 1, we're at the very beginning. It's important for them to know that because you may not see them for months or a year, and that way they can look back at it to see what you were doing. You see what you're doing. You see what you're doing. And so when you look back, you can go ahead and recognize, they'll be able to see a thing because you may be 3 years into this. You may be 3 years into this. So that journal is really important. It's really good. So that's what you want to do with your documentation. Now, rule number 3 is that you definitely don't want to talk to social workers or let them in your home. You don't let the police in your home or talk to them. You don't need to. Your home is your castle. Your front door is your drawbridge. Once your door is closed, your drawbridge is up. Home is closed. You don't talk to strangers. If there's no commotion going in your house, they will not break in. Police will not go in unless they have permission from you or the children are in danger. I mean, there's yelling going on and screaming and stuff, or they have a warrant. Now, if they have a warrant and you're outside, you get a chance to read the warrant. But if you're in the house, you won't see the warrant. And you just be quiet, and they'll come back later or call later or leave notes. Usually they leave things there for you to follow up. And that gives you a time to get your attorney aboard. Now, if you happen to meet them outside, you just ask them, is it a legal matter? If it's a legal matter, then what you do is you tell them that you need to get your attorney aboard, and the attorney's going to meet with them. So you tell them you're not refusing to meet. You're going to have to say it's got to be delayed until I get my attorney aboard. And they got to wait. They got to wait. And so what you're going to do is that you're going to get your attorney. That's very important to get an attorney. It's very, very important to do so. And so you definitely don't want to let them in. Now, if they have that warrant, you look at it and you see what's on the warrant and it looks legit, then you do. Now we have we have somebody here called Love 582. I don't know a Love 582. Hello there. Where are you located? I'm glad for your support. Now, are you the same group from LA that has many different names? It's so hard to keep track of you, but I think you're from the same group that likes to do a lot of religious statements in here. What is your CPS case and where are you located? Love 582. So we're now at 20 minutes left of the show. It's 40 minutes left. I mean, it's 7:39. So in 20 minutes, I'll be ending my show, which is good because it's slowly but surely they're getting out. They're getting out here. They'll be closing the doors here. Let's see what else I have. What else do I have? Okay, we're talking about rule number 3. This warrant, you very carefully have to look at it. It should be on a legal document form, and you can tell when it's legal because it looks legal. It's got to be signed by a judge, a wet signature, not a Xerox copy or a PDF file or something that's been cut and pasted. It's got to have the date when it was signed, and it better be a date during the week because they don't work on the weekends or holidays. So if it's on a holiday or the weekend, then you know it's a bogus form that they're using some old form. And it's got to have specific instructions on it. It's got to be made out to the person that they're questioning about negligence or abuse. Negligence or abuse has got to be on the form. And then on top of that, you got to that's my jacket and things here. Yeah. Lost my train of thought here. So, oh yeah, on the warrant, it's got to be a legitimate date. And then on the date they're going to come to execute what they need to do, that's got to be on there. The address is going to be there. The kids got to be listed. And also they got to be listed what they did, negligence or abuse. Then it's got to tell you what they need to do. They need to talk to you. They need to search your home. They need to take your child. That's what's on a warrant. And so I spent a lot of time on that because I think it's important you know what's on a warrant. And a lot of times they'll use fake ones, or they say they have one on a computer or they have on a PDF file. You got to see a hard copy. You got to see a hard copy. So you're in Orange County. No, okay. Orange County is called the Child Protection Services. I call it the CPS to stand up there. And then I listen to it when I can to support and learn. Good. All right. I've never seen you here before. You're in Orange County. You don't have a particular city that you're in. I know you're dealing with the Orange County Child Protection Services. That's the same one I had to deal with. They're very corrupt. They're very, very, very corrupt. So entering your home, if you let them in or a family member does, you're opening up a can of worms because they're going to assume you allow them to look around and you allow them to take your children. If they say they want your children, you're going to say, no, you can't take my children. Do you have a warrant? And if they try to fight you or want to handcuff you, just put your hands up and say, I need my attorney present here. This is wrong, but go ahead. You have to take them. Of course, that is given permission. So I don't know. Some people have gone to jail not surrendering their kids, not gone to jail. It's really tough when you deal with these entities, especially where they're located. It's very, very, very corrupt. Very corrupt. Now, another thing you have to think about, too, is medical trafficking. What's been happening a lot lately is people have been going to urgent care or the emergency room and see a social worker that starts poking around and hearing about your medical case. Now, you got to be careful. They think they're doctors. And so if you want a second opinion, that doesn't mean you're being medical neglect with your kids. You want to be sure before they do something. I had a case not too long ago where a family, pardon?
I need to take this desk out.
When? Right now? Or?
Yeah. Move another one and we come back to this.
Okay, if you do this on the last if you can, that'd be great. I don't know how much longer, but I may have to move to the floor here. So,
No worries. Yeah.
David. Oh, perfect. Okay. There was a question you had, Love 582. It says, yes, are there any in my last case? I hired Vincent's associates and they backed off. If I ever come across ups again, he will be my first to call. It's not ups. I think you meant CPS. I don't think you meant ups. He was on my last case. That's good. You hired Vincent. That's good that you did. And they backed off. Why did they back off? I never heard of them backing off. They've always defended, unless you ran out of necessary funds. That's the problem is that it's not free. It's not free. So it is a problem. It is a problem. So I'd like to know some more, love, about what you were saying. Love some more to know about that.
How are you?
Pretty good. I can stand in the air.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're good now, but they're going to move. Just sit up for like 5 more
I know.
minutes. I just
Okay.
wanted to give you a.
That's right. I only have about another 15. I'm done.
Perfect. Are you doing another go class or
I'm
something?
doing a live cast right now
Oh,
around the world.
Are you an influencer?
No, I'm doing it's connected with a lawyer. So
Very cool.
yeah, you bet. Anyway, they're surely taking apart the booth here, but that's okay. But I don't know why you said that they backed off. What I mean? What I mean by you meant the CPS backed off. Okay, because of associates. So yes, I got it. Not to integrate my son. That's good with Vincent Davis. He's a good attorney. I'm glad to hear that, love. And that is really good. Love 582 is from Orange County. And she was saying that when she had a Vincent Davis there, the CPS backed off. Yes, Vincent Davis does bother CPS a lot. I know that for a fact. Everything like that. So anyway, this medical thing you got to be careful about because they hang out the urgent care of the emergency room. And this case I was telling you about is a family wanted a second opinion on the appendix being removed. This girl who was only 5 months at the time, not 5 months, 14. She was 4 years old, and she complained of a pain in her groin area, but it was on the left side, and the gallbladder is on the left side. Your appendix is on the right side, and it's a sharp pain. Well, they didn't do X-rays, and they should have. They did a sonogram, and they thought it was the appendix that was inflamed, but it wasn't. And they were getting a second opinion when the social worker said, "You better do what they're telling you, or we're going to turn you in to CPS. We're going to turn you in." And that was scary. I told them, "Don't do that. Get an attorney." I told them how to get an attorney. They got an attorney in a couple of days, but they still went ahead and had the appendix removed. But when they came home that night, they called the next day, and they had to go back to the hospital because she still had the pain. They later did X-rays, and they found gallstones, and she was having a hard time getting rid of them. But they wasted cutting her up for all the traumatic experience. So that's what I'm telling you about medical trafficking. The other kind of medical trafficking has been the one where they come and they you're having a baby and you get tested positive. They want to right away rip the baby out of the mother's still attached to her uterus. It's ridiculous of stories I've heard. They barge in the room. First of all, when you make arrangements to have a baby, only the people on the list are allowed in that room. And if they're a police or a social worker, they can wait in the lobby or have a warrant. They cannot remove a baby from a mother who's given a baby. And that's the medical trafficking that's been happening a lot lately, where mothers are certainly turning their baby over at birth. And our parents are coming in and having unnecessary medical surgery done or being accused of medical neglect. So I want to bring that up to you guys there a little bit because I don't think I've talked too much about that. And then lastly, we got rule number 4, which is how to use the internet. You can use the internet by using Google browser to look things up or Chat GPT. That's another good one. And there's a lot of AI stuff coming out now. But it's important that you word your words right. Meaning you start off with the city and the state. And if you're out of the state, put the country included there. Then put the letter CPS. When you do that, it's going to trigger the search engine, look for matters in that city and that state or that country in CPS. But you can do something further after CPS. Put down what you're trying to do. Like I'm trying to find a court attorney, trained in the areas of family law, juvenile law, and dependency law. Or you could put something else there. So I am. I really want to help you understand that you need to search correctly and spend weeks, spend months to know everything you know about it, everything you need to know about it. Now, rule number 5 is making copies of all the important documents and putting in an envelope, such as a driver's license or birth certificate, your marriage certificate, the kids' grade reports, the medical records, the shot records, anything like that that would help you tell CPS. And you keep that with your notebook and put copies in there because you don't need the originals. You don't need the originals. So if you're registered to an Indian tribe, you put that information in there. And so that way you have the stuff for them. You got to be prepared for them. You got to be prepared and know what to do and everything. You really do. And so I thank you, Justin John. Justin John is Tony the Tiger from Mostanego, New York. And her name is Cassandra. Cassandra, I'm broadcasting live from the LA Auto Show in downtown Los Angeles, California. I was here earlier because I was doing some volunteer work with the Long Beach Grand Prix that's held every year. And I had to take a train home, and I was worried that I would miss the show time. My show lately, I don't have the flexibility anymore to change the times. So I'm on here at a Pacific time. I have to stick with it. So right as soon as that show, my work ended here, I'm staying here as they break down the show. And so I'll be here to 8 o'clock, which is not that late there. It's only like 9 minutes left. So I want to thank you all very much from the bottom of my heart for coming in here and sharing some of the stories you're doing. This is really great. So we have Tony the Tiger, Justin John, Cassandra from Mostanego, New York. And now we got Kinsey Mummy. According to the Indian Child Welfare Act, they can't even take a native child. Well, they can take the child, but they're supposed to offer you a chance for the child to be turned over to the Indian tribe. The law specifically says that any Indian children taken by CPS must be turned over to the tribe if they're proven that they're registered with that tribe. And to be registered with that tribe, you got to be a certain percentage of Indian blood and then sign up. You got to have records to prove that you're like a Lakota Sioux or you're a Crow. I'm not picking on any particular Indian, but the different ones that we have around the country. There's thousands. There's 565 Indian tribes that are recognized by the federal government. It's got to be one of the tribes recognized by the federal government. So, Kinsey, Mommy, where are you from? Where are you from, Kinsey, Mommy? Are you part of an Indian tribe? Now, Cassandra, Tony the Tiger, Justice says, shockingly, I got a lawyer appointed before the date, right before court. Maybe the judge is going to stop being biased and corrupt and doubtful, but we should see. Well, that could be good news or bad news. You know how I feel about court-appointed attorneys. And Vince has sent in, is helping me truly. A godsend that man is. Yes, Vince does a lot of volunteer. I mean, I don't know. He is a guy that spread so thin. He was once a foster kid himself, so he knows what it is to be a foster kid. He knows what it is as a foster kid. So anyway, okay, Kinsey's got to register her son in Louisiana. My son is black, and he is Tuka Bilox. You need to go on the federal register and see if it's registered by the federal government. It's not registered by the federal government. It's not recognized, and it'll do you no good. The Indian Act is for recognized Indian tribes. There's 564 tribes. I believe that is the correct number. And there got to be one in there. And I'd never heard of Tuka Biloxi, but I believe that is a tribe. It has nothing to do with the color of a person's skin. It's their heritage. If they have 25% Indian blood, they're most likely an Indian, a Native American, Anyway, this is interesting. I'm having different comments from different people and different things going on here. We have right now about 5 minutes left. And so I'll be ending my show in about 5 minutes. I'm going to put up the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, that's a federal government thing. It's something new that has been around since January by our president. He made a campaign promise that he would investigate government entities. And CPS is one of them. They're a part of social services. And I know Orange County Social Service being investigated, and CPS is. There's a lot of bad ones out there. There's some where they embezzle funds, they lie, they retaliate, and 50% of these are bad entities. And I'm pretty sure that DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, will figure it out. They have a website. It's a great website. It has 2 phone numbers posted. 202 is the White House area code. And then they have an email that you can send your documents to. But you should only contact the federal government until you're exhausted at the county level and at the state capitol level. At the county level, you're going to deal with the supervisor, the manager, or the director. And at the state level, at the capitol level, you deal with the civil rights coordinator, And if it doesn't work in those 2 areas, then go to the federal government. So that's what DOGE is all about. So in about 1 minute, I'm going to show a video that'll end my live stream. It's coming up. It's about a 2-minute video there. And I want to thank all the people that have called in tonight, or texted, I should say. Kinsey Mommy, I think you're from Louisiana. I'm not sure if that is correct or not. I have Justin John, who is Tony the Tiger Cassandra from Oceanego, New York, who has a 14-year-old son. And then we have, who else? We have Love from Orange County, who had a case. They got Vincent Davis involved. They backed off, which was good news. And then we have Lisa Bartley from Montana. And thank you, Lisa, for being part of this live stream. And then Andrea, outside of the city, outside of Chicago, Illinois. And she's been in my room, been several times. You guys are all family. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Please do not give up your children. And also, please, whatever you do, listen to this video, is that my live stream is going to end. I'll see you tomorrow morning. That's Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. God bless you, and thank you for listening to me tonight.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against, then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce him. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith